back from being gone for 2 weeks. Thought I'd check and see how things are looking in the greenhouse. It was -7 last night. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like inside. Gotta take down the winter door. Onions are definitely coming up. Oh, see how warm it is in here. 16 degrees. -7 outside. 16 degrees inside. 14th of March. Need time to get the leaves off of the Allium X proliforium and the spinach so that they can really start putting on weight. As you can see, the spinach made it through the winter. Garlic's already coming up pretty strong along the whole line here. Might even be time to start watering. No. I'm gonna try one of these. Atriplex hortensis. Sprouted. Lots of Atriplex hortensis all over the place here. And finally, just to show that you don't actually need a greenhouse to be doing a lot of this stuff, here's my outdoor area. And I want to show you that, as you can see here, onions are already up tall, and Atriplex hortensis is already sprouted here. So it was -7 last night. So these sprouts here just made it through a night of -7, just to put this in a little bit of perspective here. And they're all over the place here. Just to show, as soon as you clear away a little bit of leaves, this is the Allium X proliforium bed, you can see that the worms have been busy sucking down carbon. Also, just a final note on weeding. You can see I have problems with these grass weeds. They grow long lines like this with the roots on them, and then they shoot up like that. They're everywhere, and they're a real plague. But basically what I do is I make sure that it's really easy. But the more carbon you have on top during the winter, here you can see a grass that's stuck in between all of my alliums here. And I'm going to show you how easy it is when you have cover crops, how easy it is to weed out something like this. So ordinarily you'd probably have to ruin this whole bed to get this weed out, but since I've been cover cropping, or I've been mulching with, and since it's already quite warm, the soil, and the weeds haven't had a lot of time to establish themselves yet because they haven't been able to photosynthesize much, I can just dig in with my hand and, okay, in this case it didn't work, but the last one it worked. I'll try another one over here. Basically, if you do it right, you can just pull the whole weed up without having to weed out the bed. And the important thing is that you get them as soon as possible when they're still weak, because if they get to establish themselves, then you're in trouble. And if you see on the sides here, I do, a good example here, see I've covered with wood chips here. And that makes it possible for me. Now it's frozen, so it's a little bit harder, but you can see I can just pull on it, see? And because of the wood carbon loosens up the soil, I can just pull a line out like that, see? There's a line that I just pulled out. And you couldn't ordinarily do that because they make a really tight web if they have the ability to photosynthesize, and if this soil isn't if there's not this kind of intense amount of carbon in it, because the more carbon you throw at it, the more carbon is sucking up the available nitrogen, and that weakens the plant. And you can see it also makes a lot of mycorrhiza, which is a really good barrier along the side against possibilities of diseases coming in. See, look at that. See? That you can't ordinarily do. without just by using your hand. Usually you'd need to pull in a pitchfork or something to get it up. And then you just continue to spread the carbon out every time you do that. Take the weeds out, make sure they don't get close to the edge, and that way you're able to protect your bed from being taken over by weeds. Right, so Allium explorifolium bed is done. Weeded, sowed where needed, de-leafed, and now I've also cleared this bed, which, as you can see, has strawberry spinach in it, which made it through the winter. It's the first time I've tried that to see. Sow strawberry spinach late and see if it makes it through the winter, and yes, it does, which means that I'll get an early crop of strawberry spinach. And I always like sowing things together that are in related families, so this is basically just an amaranth bed. I have a lot of Atriplex hortensis seed here, and I'm just gonna broadcast some of that out there. Pretty simple. Now, that's how little work it takes to prepare 2 beds that are basically, one is basically a weed bed and the other one is a perennial bed. As little work as possible. Now, this bed will probably not stay a weed bed for long. I'm guessing by May, because it's in the center of the greenhouse, it will be turned into an annual bed. And by then I'll have eaten all of these, or most of them. Probably I'll keep the ones at the edge here, the strawberry spinach at the edge, but everything else in the middle will be turned into something else. There's a spider enjoying the fact that I cleaned up the bed for him, or her. So that's that bed. I've also cleared out the spinach here from all the weeds, and I've made another bed here. I also am not sure yet what I'm going to grow here, but while I'm waiting, I'm going to do the same thing here. This is basically a weed cover crop that I have, which will give me plenty of vegetables early in the season while I'm waiting for whatever it is that I'm going to use this bed for. The nice thing about Atriplex hortensis is, there are many nice things, but the main easiest plant in the world to weed. It takes hardly less time to weed than it takes to sow, and they're all red, so it's impossible to miss anything. And they taste great, and they grow fast, easy to save seeds from.